Welcome to Go Gettas podcast where we haven't going to say anyway. I am Colby.
And I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am the batteries that are not included. But you can call me Fee.
Damn, you didn't go for the whole thing?
That was the whole thing.
You didn't say I'm Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, I'm not Darkwing Duck, I'm Fee.
Yeah, but you didn't give him, you didn't do the intonation or anything, which by the way, because... I don't no one knows this, but you did an impression of Darkwing Duck one time that just sounded like the Joker from Dark Knight. And my wife and I still quote, "Let's get dangerous" at each other.
God, that was so many years ago. Yeah. I forgot I did that. But I did do that, and I don't remember why I did that.
I don't either. I was like, that's not even close to how he sounds.
Let's get dangerous. I guess the Dark Knight was like hot at the time, so that tells you how long ago it was.
It was just in my brain. The Dark Knight just lived there.
Listen, whenever something's in my brain, it's gonna come out. I do it all the time. What's it called? I was going to say something, but I forgot. I completely forgot. It went out of my brain.
Dude, this is... Okay, so I don't know if you were a part of this side of the internet, but a few months ago, there was a big thing of like women asking their boyfriends how often do they think of the Roman Empire. And most guys were like, I don't know, like once a week, maybe like every day.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, was it just like a big like joke that guys were in on?
It's hard to tell. Like for sure, after a bit, after a bit, you hear the thing and you're like, oh yeah, of course I do. But like especially early on, like they would ask their partners, and their partners would be like, well, I mean, when you think about it, the Romans did so much that like you could think about roads, and now you're thinking about the Roman Empire, right? Like. And so you're like, oh, that sounds fucking believable. So you really think that you think about the Roman Empire every week, huh?
I don't. I really don't. I don't. Me personally, I don't.
Yeah, I don't either.
but like, I get the bit. Like just a bunch of like guys winking to each other online.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like,
it's
when I first heard this, I was like, I could fucking pretend I think about the Holy Roman Empire. Yeah, fuck it.
Did your wife ask you?
No. My wife sent me the video, and I will admit, I did think about the Roman Empire this week. I thought about the Roman Empire yesterday. Not about this. Like you saying like, oh, that was so long ago. The Dark Knight was in my brain, and then I was like, oh yeah, there was that thing about the Empire. Yesterday, somebody was like, I hate having to look up the number that a month is. Because I can't remember. And then in parentheses, they were like August. And yeah, I too am really pissed off about that, because if you don't know, like October, September, October, those are like Sept 7, Oct is 8. So those should be the 7th and 8th months. But
I was gonna say, is it? I thought it was 10.
Yes, October is 10. So the name should mean that they're 7th and 8th. And what happened is there used
December
to be
should be 10.
There used to be just 10 months. There were only 10 months in a previous version of the Roman calendar. And then Augustus,
Augustus Gloop?
The progenitor of Augustus Gloop, Augustus from the Roman Empire, the leader.
Augustus Roop?
He was like, you know what? From me and my boy Julian, we're going to add 2 more months. We're going to add July and August. Because I'm Augustus and he's Julius. What are you going to fucking do about it?
Julius just one day just fucking like creeps over. He's like, hey, it'd be real funny if we added 2 months, didn't tell nobody.
Hey, wouldn't it be fucking funny? Dude, I saw another thing that was like, if we just added 1 more month, every month would be, I think it was like
30 days, right?
Like 28 days or something. And like every month would be 28 days, and every like, because it's so even, Now,
Oh
like,
yeah,
if Monday, if the first is a Monday, the first is always a Monday.
Yeah.
And I was like, that sounds better.
That does, but that makes like for more like smaller like pay months, right?
So it depends. It depends on how you get paid. So if you get paid bi-weekly, like every 2 weeks, then yeah, they're like you do sometimes get those months where you're like, oh fuck yeah, I got 3 paychecks.
Well, I get paid weekly, and there's some months where I get the extra check, and I'm like, oh fuck yeah.
Oh shit.
And like it helps because like then you got this extra check to play around with before you have your first of the month bills.
Yeah.
And I like that better rather than just 4 weeks, 4 checks.
Yeah, so the first job that I ever got paid weekly from was HEB. I used to work as an engineer for HEB, and when I signed up, they were like, "Yeah, we pay you weekly," and I was like, "Why?" Like every other company pays, especially engineering, they pay on the 15th and like the last day of the month. That's like how payroll works. And so they were like, yeah, you just get paid every Friday, and I was like, fucking what? What are you talking about?
Hey, you get paid every Friday for engineering these tortillas. Over at the HE Bakery.
That's right.
Do you do that? Do you say the HEB Bakery or do you say the HE Bakery?
I rarely refer to the HEB Bakery. Usually, like I just said HEB Bakery. I imagine if I were to refer to it, it would be that. But if I'm talking about the HEB Bakery, usually I'm inside of the HEB already, so I just call it the bakery.
Well, yeah, but if like you're like, say you can't go to the store, but you have to send your wife, you're like, don't forget to pick up the fucking tortillas from the HE Bakery.
I think I would probably say from the bakery section.
You're so lame.
Yeah, listen, I'm not claiming to be cool or
there's no fun in your life. Jeez, have fun.
I have fun with my family. There is very little fun in my life, I'll be honest. Like, my wife sent me a message earlier and was like, hey, me and my friend want to go and watch this documentary in downtown. That means that, you'll be doing bedtime alone and like picking up the baby by yourself. Is that okay? And I was like, you should go do that. And I remember like with my old therapist, I was talking about this and I was like, yeah, like I feel really bad because like I don't have very many friends that are in town that, I feel like I can go hang out with and that I want to go like and be in person with. And so I feel like I can't ask for those opportunities. I can't be like, hey, can you like watch the baby? Because I'm going to get into the car and drive up to the Dairy Queen and eat an ice cream cone inside of the Dairy Queen and watch anime by myself for 2 hours. I don't like it doesn't. The thing is, my therapist was like, why not? Like, these are equivalent. Your wife is doing something fun that they want to do. You are doing something fun that you want to do. And I was like, okay, well, when you think about it that way, yeah, it makes sense. But think about it from my perspective. It's like, hey, I want to go do this thing. And as a result, like, you have to take care of the baby. I'm sorry. Like, I'll try to make it up to you. And then me showing up and being like, hey, I had the idea that I wanted to go and try a burger from this place that's 45 minutes away. So I think I'm going to do that. You take care of the baby. Bye. Like,
I mean, just why not? Don't spring it on them like randomly. Don't be like, hey, I saw this burger place. I want to try it, so I'm going to leave now and be like, listen, I want to try it. Maybe I'll go like in 2 days. That'll give you enough time to prepare.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? It makes sense to me to like ask for something like that. But also, when you weigh the two activities, it's like, oh, I'm going to go hang out with my friends and I'm going to go like have a social experience. I'm going to go to a movie. I'm going to go see people. Like, my wife has been like, hey, me and some friends are going to get together to do a craft night over at this place. You'll have to take care of the baby. And I'm like, yep, that makes sense. And then imagine like I come in and I'm like, hey, yeah, so you're probably going to be taking care of the kid this week because, yeah, I got a reservation at a barbecue restaurant and I'm going to go. So you better get your shit together.
they probably wouldn't put up an argument for that. They're vegan.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just like my thing seems so much more trivial and not valid. Like it seems like I'm coming in being like, "Hey, I kind of just want to play video games, so like I'm going to take my Switch and go to a park and sit there for 3 hours. I could be here taking care of our child. I will not be though."
I get that. I'm not trying to be out here saying your wife is fucking taking advantage of you.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, just every once in a while, just be like, just do something fun for yourself. Why not? I'm not saying do it like once a week. Just do it like every once in a while. Be like, I want to take a walk. I'm gonna take my Switch and go to the park like the fucking lonely guy I am. Maybe buy a Blizzard and just sit there.
Just sit there. Yeah, just like that's what basically everybody that I've talked to about this has said. They're like, I think that's totally valid, but in my brain, I'm like, no, this is just fucking. If I ask for a favor like that, I better have a goddamn good reason.
Yeah, God, like, what do you think your wife's gonna do? Like, you're gonna tell them, and they're gonna be like, "All right, but you owe me one."
yeah, you owe me 1,000 actually.
God, like, I'm sure if you talk to them, they will just be like, "Okay."
Yeah, sure.
It won't even. It's not even a big deal. But you're just like overthinking it. You're just like over your head right now.
Yeah. I feel like I know that. I feel like in my brain, I know that what I'm asking for is fine and a reasonable, okay thing to do. But in my soul, I'm like, what a disgrace. what a shitter you are.
So, like, okay, so let me tell you this then. What if I lived near you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, for whatever reason, I'm just like, Colb, I'm moving to Seattle,
mm-hmm.
and I found enough money to live in a house near you.
Yeah.
Would you then take time to go hang out with me?
Yes.
Okay, I was like, or would it be like one of those situations where I just show up, open the door like fucking Boner from Growing Pains?
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
like,
and everybody's
hey,
like,
Science family. Just
fucking the boners here. Boner. I can't, like, the word boner was used colloquially for dick at the time, right? Like, maybe not popularly.
I think it was being, like, transferred to wiener in the 90s because it was still being used for, like, mistake or accident, right?
Yeah.
Because I know, like, in the early 2000s, the picture of Joker saying boner.
Oh, yeah.
All the fucking time.
I'll show you a boner.
Make fun of my boner, will you? I'll show you a boner, Batman. I'll show you a boner, all right.
Fuck.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm just, like, and that's funny because his name was Boner, so, like, does that mean that he was a mistake? He was an accidental birth.
I mean, I imagine it's just he that's his nickname. Like his name is.
Well, I get his nickname, but like, how does he get that nickname? Who gave it to him?
Yeah, good question. Oh, I got it. It's because the character's last name is Stabone, I guess. Stabone, maybe Stabone, and so obviously Boner.
Okay, listen. That's fucking good.
That is good.
If I knew someone that had like bone in their name, I'd probably call him Boner.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone, unfortunately, with bone in their name, but I mean, if I did, if I knew someone with like any like weird thing in their name, that I'd zero in on that. Like if you had the like, I don't know, like Ween in your name. If you're like Kobe Ween,
yeah,
Ween. If your full name was Kobe Weenbody, I'd probably call you, hey Wiener.
Hey Wiener. Ah. God,
so,
I fucking hate that.
Yeah, but you'd still hang out with me.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I just looked it up, and the actor that played Boner committed suicide in 2010.
No, why did you tell me this?
Yeah, dude, Boner's dead. Boner's dead and has been dead for 13 years.
This is such a downer.
Yeah.
God, oh jeez.
Yeah.
Man, why? That's so random.
His dad was on Star Trek. That's cool.
Oh, that's way cool. I guess you know, he could be in space and not have to think about his son.
Yeah.
You know, just fuck. that's why he did it, because his dad was so like, so gone for so long with the Starfleet.
Yeah.
He couldn't.
I'm so
It's
sad.
stupid. I'm stopping. I'm stopping. Just being a big dumb.
We have topics today, Fee.
We do have topics, and I do want to talk to him. But the last thing I want to say about this name thing is it's so. You see it a lot in anime, in Japanese culture, where you'll tell them their name, and they usually go by last names in Japan if they're not close. Like I call you Kolb.
Mm-hmm.
So like in Japan they'd be like not, I wouldn't call you Kolb-chan. I'd probably call it like Kolb-san or something.
Yeah.
But you call me Fee. I think it's normal for people to make nicknames of like their friends like names, like shorten them, unless their name is unshortenable. Like we couldn't do that for Mike. We couldn't call him Meh.
Yeah, Meh.
Yeah, what up, Meh?
Any like the thing is, like, any one syllable name is sort of like that's it. That is the nickname.
Yeah,
you can't any nickname that you can have will never be shorter than that.
Yeah, no. Like you could like do something creative with like their last name, but like again, we live in America, so like we couldn't just call Mike like his last name was like Salazar, so we couldn't be like, "Hey, Salamander,"
hey,
or fucking
hey.
So like that's just what I'm saying. I think nicknames are cool, and
I think nicknames are cool, and it sucks that like it's so wild that like it's cringe for you to pick your own nickname. Like whenever you grow up, if you only have a couple of opportunities to like get a nickname going. So like when one of my friends at work like started like we were like, oh yeah, this is like Ashley works here. About a year later, one of her friends from her previous job joined, and he kept calling her Nikki, and I was like, why does David call you Nikki? And she was like, oh yeah, I think everybody at work are the only people in the entire world that actually call me Ashley. I usually go by my middle name, which is Nicole. So Nikki is what I go by, like my parents, all through school, at my previous jobs. And I was like, why the fuck did you let us call you Ashley? She's like,
yeah, why didn't you introduce this as
she was like, I don't know. I just got introduced as Ashley, and I didn't correct anyone. I just sort of went with it. And I feel like that's the inflection point at which you get to be like, hey, yeah, my name is Colby, but everybody in my personal life does call me Duke. So you guys will be calling me Duke from now on.
Yeah, y'all call me Boner. Just
slide it in there. Cool. Yeah, it's a long story. Don't worry about it, but it's not sexual. Just call me Boner. Put it on my paycheck. You won't.
HR's looking at you real close.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to me, because everyone knows me by my first name, but like my family and like some people know me by my middle name.
Mm-hmm.
That's why everyone, like every once in a while you'll hear someone call me Angel.
Mm-hmm.
But like I think Angel's an alright name. I don't think it's a cool name.
Yeah.
And it used to be different. I used to think Felix was a lame name, but like I've come around to it's a cool name.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good name. And like I like it makes sense that like other people sort of like, give you a nickname and that's like, just sort of it grows organically from there, but it just seems like such a shame that you can't be like, yeah, call me, like, I think the name Squeaks is cool. Call me Squeaks. And they're like, no, I'm going to call you Gaylord now. Your name is now Gaylord for even attempting to get a nickname going, you idiot.
To be fair, I did that and it stuck. When we were in con and you introduced me to some of your friends, like when I met Joss,
oh god,
and Mia for the first time, I think what did I say? I said my name is Cash. My nickname is Cash or something, right? Or bitch hand or fist.
It was Fist.
It was Fist.
It was Fist, and you introduced yourself to Aaron Ego Raptor Hansen as, yeah, my name is Felix, but everybody calls me Fists.
And nobody did.
And I immediately was like, no one calls you that. Stop telling people that.
Listen, I gotta have a cool hook if you want to get in.
That's right. I met this guy. Like, you imagine that he went home to Susie that like the next day, and he was like, yeah, the con was great. Met a guy who calls himself Fists. It didn't look like he fought anyone. I don't know. Kind of a cool thing. Kind of a cool name, honestly.
See, it sticks.
Kind of want to just give him money.
Honestly, I hope he makes a podcast in like 20 years so I can fucking donate to him.
Yeah, so I just want to be friends.
Like, okay, so like that wasn't one instance where I did that and it stuck because other people started calling me that.
Yeah, because it was really funny and out of nowhere.
At first it was because that, but like now everyone just calls me that, and I don't know if they remember like the connotation of where it came from.
Yeah, you're like, it sounds like it's sincere now.
I also had like bitch hands. And
yeah,
I think I gave myself that one too.
That is true. You did.
I don't remember.
I remember. Me and you and Mike were like pretty drunk at Mike's apartment.
Yeah.
And you were like, hey, you talked to, I think it was me. You were like, hey, can you give me another drink? I can't open this one, good sir, because I can't open it because I got these bitch hands. You were too drunk to open a bottle, so you asked for help opening the bottle.
I had to give you a reason too. So
yeah, I can't do it because I got these bitch hands. It's not because I'm lazy. It's because I got bitch hands.
God, I was so unhinged back then.
Yeah.
Oh shit, it's so funny. I mean, I still am, but I'm more pulled back now. I'm not lol random anymore.
Yeah.
But then again, like my ADHD was like further unchecked back then. I'd never thought about what I was saying.
Oh yeah, no. Fee would say and do things just because it was the first thing that he thought of. The amount of times we would be walking through, especially Walmart, and he would pick up a thing to show us and then throw it into a different location. And I'd have to be like, put it back! Go put it back where it goes!
God, like, I couldn't do that anymore. I feel bad for the people.
Yeah! I was like, someone has to clean it up. And you're like, they get paid to do that.
God, that was such a little bastard.
Yes!
Look, it took me like 20 years, but I finally mastered social awareness.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm good now. Still funny. So, anyway, enough about nicknames in the past. Let's go on to our topics. Colby, what do you have? What do you give me?
What do we got? The biggest news of the past couple of weeks is, boy, there's a number of people that very prominent, well-known, famous YouTubers that are leaving. They're quitting. They're retiring, and it's an interesting time because a lot of them are retiring around the same time. So for some context, there's at least 3.
Yeah,
I think there's 4 actually. I just don't watch. I don't watch Papa Meat, so I wouldn't know.
He's not leaving. The title was kind of misleading, but before we get in, basically his video was like, hey, I've been animating, because he has 2 channels. He has Meat Canyon, the animation channel, and the Papa Meat channel, which is his like more laid back, sit in front of the camera commentary channel, where he talks about movies or just things he finds online. And he came out and he was like, hey, I love animating for y'all, but he's like, it's not that fun anymore. Just kind of taking things like from your kid, like old cartoons and stuff, and just making them like really like crazy looking or whatever. Yeah. He's like, I still like doing it. He's like, it's just, I want to do some like more, because he has his original. He did an original cartoon called Monster Lab, and it was really good. He's like, I want to do like more original shorts. He has like these shorts of like the life of Melvin,
Mm-hmm.
which is just him like going through life and just different anxieties hit him, and it's like crazy. It's a good show. He's like, I still want to like do stuff like that, but it's gonna be like real slower on the animation side, as I want to focus more on doing these talks with y'all,
Mm-hmm.
where he just does like a in-person video. He's not like retiring, but he's slowing down the animation channel
Yeah.
to do, instead of like trying to do like two animation things a month on Meat Canyon, he wants to slow it down to do things like more of what he wants to do.
Yeah. And that, like, to be honest, that's what most of these YouTubers mean when they say they're retiring, except for Matt Pat, kind of. Like, let me explain. So, let's go through the list. First biggest one I would argue is Tom Scott. Tom Scott has been on the internet. Do you know who Tom Scott is?
I do not, man. I heard he was,
you've probably seen a few of his videos, but he's not like a prominent sort of guy, right? Like he's a dude that tells you about interesting stuff, and he wears a red T-shirt. And that's like, and he has a British accent. That's like the most notable thing about Tom Scott, really, is that he does like pretty well researched videos and shows off interesting things. But he's like done topics on like programming and language, and he's done a lot of things. So he actually, if you ever saw the emoji keyboard,
oh yeah, I've seen
he
that.
put together like 8 keyboards, and they all had one emoji on them.
Why?
Yeah, it's just for a funny thing. So he retired. But what retirement means to him is actually he has his main channel. He has a second channel in which he like uploads other stuff, and then he also has a podcast. And he's also got like another series that he runs with one of his friends. So like, his main channel has been doing a video every day, every week, almost every week for 10 years.
Wow.
And he, at the beginning of last year, or sort of toward the beginning of last year, he was like, I'm getting like super, like I'm very busy now. And I kind of don't want to keep doing these videos every week because it's a lot of work and a lot of time, and I would rather have more time. And so he just kept giving progress updates of like, yep, still quitting in 6 months. Just keep an eye out. And then he did his final video and rode off in a helicopter into the sunset.
Nice.
But like, the man
still doing his
man still has a podcast, right? Like, he's not going anywhere. You can still get Tom Scott content. You're just not going to be getting his every Friday video. So that's there's Tom, right? Now you move down to the next biggest one, which is Matt Pat.
Matthew Patthew.
That's right. Matthew Patrick Fnat, whatever, it doesn't matter. He game theory, film theory, fashion theory. He's got a whole bunch of theory channels.
He has 4. He has game, film, style, and food.
Style and food. Yeah, that's right. I forgot food theory. So he's got a bunch of these channels, and it was out of the blue. So like, Tom Scott set everybody up for a year. He's like, hey, I'm retiring at the end of the year. And anybody that's like, oh, fucking, it's crazy, Tom Scott retired. It's like, well, you clearly don't pay attention to him because he's been telling everyone he's going to retire. So
I don't.
But Matt Pat out of nowhere is like, yeah, I got to go. And his reasons, like Tom Scott, basically, all of these reasons sort of boil down to the same thing. It's like, I'm tired. I have done so much, and I've been so focused on like achieving more that I think I've achieved the things that I want to achieve, and I would rather go work on other things. But like, when you're a content creator like that, you feel like you have to get permission from your audience. And sometimes that comes in the form of like having a video explaining what is going to happen. That way you don't have to answer questions all the fucking time.
Yeah, because he's not like leaving. So in Matthew's case, because I said Matthew. In Matt Pat's case, I saw his video, and he's not like leaving the content space.
Mm-hmm.
He's just not going to be hosting Game Theory.
Yeah.
And he's been doing it for like 10 plus years or whatever. and he's done a whole lot. You know, he's been in a FNAF movie. He's been doing theories. He's like done a whole lot, and he's like very genuine. I know I've shit on him before, but that's because his host voice.
He's
But
he's also, I will say, one of the most prominent and well-known people that really did a bunch of deep data analysis on YouTube and was able. He was kind of like the YouTuber's YouTuber. So if you wanted questions answered about like, hey, this video isn't performing like this, I'm like, this isn't doing that. He was probably a guy that had answers for you. So for instance, like he pays attention to like analytics, like when the drop off time, the watch time, you know, when should you release? What are the times you should release? And like the whole like thumbnail thing, like having a better thumbnail, switching the thumbnail after like you upload for 2 hours, you switch to a second thumbnail, then you switch to a third thumbnail, and it's like, okay, well, which one got the most clicks? Switch back to that one. Like he's a guy that like really treated YouTube like a job, and was so interested in doing data analytics stuff that like he's super knowledgeable about it. And I think if I'm not mistaken, he sold that as a service to some YouTubers to be like, yeah, we'll take a look at your channel. We'll like see what things you're missing and what things you need to get some help with, and how we can improve your channel. And then you'll be successful. So in fact, in the Smosh comeback video, I think Anthony Padilla was talking to MatPat, and he was like, yeah, I remember talking to you about the like our Smosh April Fool's Day video, which was going to be the beginning of a music video, and then it was just going to be us walking at the camera for an hour, and we just thought that was going to be so funny. And MatPat was like, that's going to be probably the least viewed, least performant, tank your channel for a week kind of video that you're going to upload. And I'm positive that that's what's going to happen. And sure enough, it did. So, and that's just because like he's paying attention. Right. And so I get whenever he's like, boss, I'm tired. Because for him, it's not just like, I read the new like FNAF book, and then I like
it was shit.
Yeah, I had to come back and be like, oh, it turns out that Chica is actually Bonnie, and that's just like that's not all that he does. It's so much more than that, and I have a feeling that he probably can't help himself. Like, yeah, I imagine that he's like he's looking at the data no matter what, always.
So like I saw this documentary about MatPat, like from where he started, like how he did all that stuff, like you told me. He had like a rival to, I guess, like Screw Attack, or he was on Screw Attack, I think maybe so. But he was on Screw Attack, but not like as game theory, but as like something else, and like he worked his way up. And like MatPat has this weird brain that to where he just overanalyzes everything. Yeah. And like he looks at data, and like you were saying, he checks all this stuff, and he goes through all this stuff, and he tries new things to see how they could like maximize his effort. And but he does it in a way that like he enjoys, and he really enjoys video games. Mm-hmm. So like he went from like having like maybe a set life to where he's like not like a data analyst, but like what is it called? I think he was like a data analyst or like some kind of media manager or something. Mm-hmm. And he decided he didn't just want to do that. He wanted to be on the content side. There's like videos of like him in theater as a kid.
Oh yeah, he's a theater kid.
Yeah, he's a theater kid. So like I watched this whole thing. I'm like, God damn, Matt. I'm like, you really fucking you fucking really narrowed it down. And like, and it makes sense because like his channel's big. Mm-hmm. His channel's big, and it makes sense because he's put in the work of like staying up at night and like analyzing all these videos and how well they do in algorithms and shit. Mm-hmm. And like you can hear it in his voice, like when he's doing his retirement, he's just like, yes, I'm so tired of staying up late and doing these videos and like getting these things out to you like every week. He's like, I'm tired. He's like, I got a kid now, and I want to, spend more time with my family. Mm-hmm. And he's like, it's not that I'm leaving. It's just that there's gonna be a new host, and I'm gonna be on the other side of the camera. I'll be like help writing,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll be doing. There's more things I want to do. He's like, I want to make IPs. He's like, I want to do like some kind of like theory video game,
Yeah,
and
he came out. He talked about an idea that I was like, "You're a motherfucker, Matt Pack," because that was like one of the end game goals of a project that I was thinking about. He was like, "I want to do a lo-fi mystery series." So it's like one of those lo-fi 24/7 channels, but there's like clues and hints, and the thing changes based off of like stuff that you find. And I think it's gonna be cool, and I think you're gonna love it. And I was like, "Fuck you."
yeah,
That's my idea.
Like it's like an ARG, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's fine. Like I like Matt Pat and all, but I stopped watching him a long time ago because like I never played FNAF. I like the lore, but I don't like it that much.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, he's doing his own thing. It's what's it called? It's
Dead silence.
Sorry. Fuck.
Panic.
What?
Panic. End the podcast.
I can't find the word. Oh, God. Why don't I do this fucking show with the dictionary next to me?
Here, start the sentence again and see if your brain catches up this time.
His content is in Kobe, help me out.
Undecipherable?
No. Not ineffective.
Interesting.
No, it's interesting, but no. I'm not gonna remember. Fuck. I see. I'm not Matt Pat.
Say other words that would mean the same thing. Go.
I was in my head. I was thinking. I'm like, well, what's the opposite? And I'm like, I can't remember that word either.
Oh no.
It's no. Oh fuck. God damn it. For just go on.
Just keep going. Yeah, I like, and I totally get where he's coming from, because being a YouTuber, and we've talked about this before, if you let it, and most YouTubers do, becomes not only a full-time job, but it's like 2 full-time jobs. It's like the most full-time job that you can have. You're basically always on call.
Unoffensive.
Inoffensive. Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Inoffensive.
Yeah. And yeah, his content is one of those things where like, even if you're not interested in the thing, the way in which it's presented, the jokes and everything, like it's good enough that you could probably watch it. It's interesting, and you know, everybody likes a good mystery, and everybody likes whenever somebody is like, yeah, I've solved a puzzle that you didn't know about. You're like, oh, okay, tell me about that.
The only thing I didn't like about his channel is like 1 week he would say a theory, but then like the next week or like the next few days he would be like, "You remember that theory from the other day? I was wrong.
Yeah,
it's this.
I was totally wrong."
And like I get it. Like the more you look at, you putting out a fucking video every once in a while, you're gonna backtrack and be like, that all that stuff I told you the other day, you throw in the trash.
Yeah,
this is what it really is.
You gotta keep watching the newest shit because it's the most correct. This is what science is.
So like, there's people who could do that. I'm not one of those people. I can't just keep watching and like have my opinion change every like day or two. Mm-hmm. If I got to keep up. It's like homework. But I guess that's really what his channel is all about, like almost homework, but like fun homework.
Yeah.
Because it's about like stuff that you like.
Yeah.
It's just that it's not for me, baby. I'm like, you're doing your own thing. I'm gonna watch other things because I don't care about FNAF or Ben the Ink Machine.
Yeah, you're like, high five, neighbor. Thumbs up, good on you, but I gotta go.
yeah, no shit. I'm like, there's not enough games with so many like theories and shit, or like TV shows. Like all the games with all them theories like came out like 6 years ago.
Yeah,
and it was all like fucking. It was FNAF, Undertale, Hello Neighbor,
Mm-hmm.
and like something else, and they all came out in one big like fucking year.
Well, and with all due respect to Mr. Patrick, he when like if he comes out with a video on like one of those games, sure, I think he's probably the preeminent expert on that. However, if my boy comes out with a video that's like, oh, I've got a theory on like Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, I'm like, you get the fuck out of this space. There are so many other people in this space that know, I guarantee you, better than you. Get out of here,
He's like,
interloper.
I just did 1,000 hours of research. I know better.
Yeah, and then I'm like, no, don't care. You don't get the vibe. You don't get anything. Get out of here.
I'm like, you get out of Majora's Mask right now.
You get out of here, young man.
I'm surprised he didn't do like an anime theory.
Yeah, weeb theory.
Yeah, fucking weeb theory, and
Why not?
just like, it turns out in One Piece episode this, you could tell that they were leading up to fucking Gear 5th. He's in fact.
That's the thing about like anime stuff now is that somebody figured out a couple of years ago that nobody wants to watch an anime focused like theorizing, new updates kind of channel in general. They want to watch it for the series that they care about. So that's why
you gotta pick a series.
You have to pick a series. Or like a genre of things. Like Garnt is like one of the only YouTubers that can get away with like, oh yeah, I'm going to talk about this show in this video. I'm going to talk about another show in this video, right? Like, because what he's usually doing is talking about an idea or a like, he's not reviewing the show itself. Usually he's talking about like the ideas that come across in it. And whereas somebody like Matt, if Garnt was to come out with a video that's like, oh yeah, what's Gear 6 gonna be, like, I wouldn't watch it. I'd be like, you don't fucking know, get out of here, Garnt, you don't know anything.
Well, like, okay, speaking about Garnt, I watched an hour-long video of a guy not shitting on Garnt, but like kind of like not calling him out, but like telling people like, because they're like, I watch him. Garnt Giguk is like such a good, he's a good YouTuber because he just talks about variety of anime, but like now he's not that good. He flip-flops his opinion, and they're like pulling all these like things. They're like, he says he likes My Hero Academia, but the next week he says he hates it. But then like in this list that he's listing, he's like, this person shouldn't be there, and like he's like, well, which is it, Garnt? Which is it? And it's just like going into like he's trying to stay in like the court of like people's opinions, like on the good side. Like he can talk about just random anime that he thinks will look good or whatever, but then like for like big animes, he flip-flops his opinion on it like all the time.
Yeah. So actually, I was thinking about something related to this before we started. It's very interesting that you brought that up. Because there's a guy that I've been watching. His name is Pirate Software. He got really big based off of YouTube Shorts, and now he like has a relatively large channel. So I'm watching his Tunic playthrough, right?
Okay.
And he has this very deep and authoritative voice. So when he says something, it sounds like a statement that you have to believe. And so I'm watching him play Tunic, and he gets up to a part where he turns on a thing, and he says, like, with all the confidence in the world, he's like, I've turned on the machine. It seems that God is a machine, and I've turned it on. I'm a fool. And I was like, you're off base with, like, you don't know enough about this. You don't know enough about this world yet to actually know the truth.
Yeah.
But is that a bad thing to do? Like, maybe that's just a content person thing to do, is to be like, this is what I think, without having to do all the, like, because what I do when I talk about things like that is I'm like, this is my opinion based off of what I know. I think that it's probably this. That could be wrong because of all these other things, but that's what I think. Whereas I could just say, this is the truth. And then if that wasn't the truth, the next week I could be like, this is the truth. The last one was wrong, and pull a Matt Pat. And that's maybe a better and more interesting thing to do because you're more concise. I don't know.
I like to think statements. I like to because I like to make not predictions, but like I guess predictions of like what I think it could be.
Yeah.
I love doing that. Because like if I like say something one week, but then like we find out like in a week or so later like what it really is, I could be like, I was half right, or you know, I fucking called it right. I love doing that. So and then coming back later and be like, well, you know, when I said that week, I was like mostly right. I just got this part wrong, and I like that more than talking in absolutes, right? Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Yeah.
So like I don't like to make fact like statements like this is that, and then later being like, well, it wasn't that.
Yeah.
Because then I feel like you look foolish.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I think if you take a look at successful content creators, they don't do that. They say what they think without any caveats, and that's just it. And whenever this guy's like talking about Garnt like flip-flopping his opinion, I am almost positive I know what this comes from. Like, because so for like Joey has a very similar problem, slightly different, but like what Garnt is doing, I am betting, is he is giving his opinion on a thing that he doesn't actually care that much about. My Hero Academia, he's probably like, it's fine. It's not the best. It's got its good moments. It's got its, you know, boring moments. Yeah. It's kind of tedious. But you know,
that wasn't the only like example. I just chose that one as an example. But yeah, I know what you mean.
But like the thing is, whenever you're making content for people, having an opinion, like revealing your nuanced opinion, is not the way to keep people entertained. Like, you have to push it to be more exaggerated than it actually is. Otherwise, people are like, are you going to watch somebody talk about 6 anime and for 20 minutes be like, yeah, this one's pretty good. It's, you know, it's got some problems, but you know, it's kind of fine. Yeah, this one's fine too. I like it, but you know, we'll see what happens. Like, you want somebody who's like energetic, like bombastic with their opinion, and like, you know, like energizes you whenever you watch, rather than somebody that's like, you know, if you're talking to somebody privately and you're getting their opinion about it, you don't really like, they're not trying to perform for you. And so I'm positive. I mean, okay, I'm doing it again right now. I'm pretty sure that what Garnt is doing is he's like, yeah, like he makes a video and he's like, yeah, when I really think about My Hero Academia, or when I really think about this show, this is my opinion on it. And then in the next video, when he's like read comments, he's watched videos, he's, you know, people have been like, this one's actually shit, and he's like, yeah, you're right, no, you're right, actually, and then that fades away, and and it's because he doesn't actually truly have a strong opinion on it. It's like whatever the most recent thing is like, that's probably it. But like, if he were to get down to his actual opinion, it's probably like, nah, fine, it's fine, I guess.
Colby, I feel like you're calling me out. I just told you before this podcast of the video I was just about to make.
Yeah.
And you're calling me out.
No, what you have to do in that video is to talk about the really good things and talk about the really bad things. And if there's anything if there's anything that's just mid or boring, don't fucking put it in. Just be like, I watched this. It was boring. I watched this. It was fine. I don't need to talk about it because no one cares. If it's fine, if your opinion is this is fine, no one cares about that.
I'm gonna fucking strangle you. You looked me right in the eyes, and you made that summation, and you were like, "Cole, if he's doing this, I'm gonna fucking call him out."
Oh, this is more like if you so like if you do what I'm suggesting and then somebody comes up with a roast video that's like, oh yeah, Fee, in this video he said that Big O was one of the best mechas of all time, and then a year later he said, yeah, that trash Toonami anime, it's disgusting. It's probably because you don't give a shit about Big O.
But I would never. I love Big O.
That's just an example.
Yeah, but it's a bad one.
Speaking of actually modern anime, did you watch the end of this season of JJK?
No, I haven't even started season 2.
There's
I've seen the movie.
There's a part in it. Can I spoil one thing at the end?
Yes, but before you do,
okay,
can you just sit there and sing a song for like 30 seconds?
Oh my god.
I have to run to the kitchen and turn the oven on.
Oh my god. Okay.
So
okay.
I'm gonna go run. I'm running right now. I'll be right back.
Oh my god. Okay. I have 30 seconds of airtime to fill. Okay. Here's what I'm gonna fill this 30 seconds of airtime with. I have listened to a bunch of Elmo for the past, I don't know, 6 months or so, and I gotta say, the old voice actor for Elmo is absolutely unhinged compared to the current Elmo, who's like pretty inoffensive and kind of fine. The current Elmo's worst crime is that, you know, like whenever somebody is like singing a song and they want to like add a little spice to it, they kind of do like a sing-songy thing at the end where they're like, I'm gonna, instead of singing like, you know, the way that it's supposed to, I'm gonna kind of yell it a little bit. This Elmo does that every time, almost all the time. And I listen to these songs so often that I counted once. He did it 5 times in a row where he yelled the end of a stanza. And I was like, what are you doing? But
tell me more.
Contrast that against the first Elmo. And he like his voice, he's like doing the Elmo voice, and then at some point he gets too excited. And so, for instance,
what are you talking about?
I'm talking about Elmo. So for instance, he's singing he's okay, Happy Tappin' with Elmo. If you listen to Happy Tappin' with Elmo, you will hear this. It's just a regular song about how you should dance with Elmo, right?
I love dancing.
But toward the end of the song, he's like the chorus is like Happy Tapping with Elmo, and he's like Happy Tapping with Elmo, Happy Tapping with Elmo. It's like Jesus Christ, fucking calm down, Elmo, dude.
You just don't like Elmo's voice.
No, I'm fine with non-aggressive like feral Elmo, like early voice. And I'm fine with milquetoast corporate Elmo current voice. Just
yeah, but the voice from before is like a predator. That guy was a predator.
Aha! My wife did research on this. Kind of. So
he's only half predator.
It's inconclusive as to whether or not he's actually a predator. There was an investigation and he resigned, and there were a number of people that were like, oh yeah, when I was like 18 we fucked. And like, so when you hear like, oh yeah, Elmo's voice actor was like doing child sex stuff, you think like, oh, he's using the Elmo voice to fuck kids. But it's like having sex with teenagers. Yeah. So I think like, which is, by the way, let me make sure, still gross, by the way.
How do you think he picked them up? He's just like, why'd I come back to Elmo's room?
Yeah, do you think an 18-year-old would be like, oh, fuck, do that Elmo voice for me, please? You're making my butthole so dilated with that voice. Come on.
Let me show you Elmo's world. Fucking.
Yeah, exactly. That's what people think happened.
Look, any voice actor, do you think they like put on the voice like for sex purposes, like when they're doing it?
So if it were me, obviously
would
not.
you?
I couldn't. No.
Oh, come on.
Absolutely not. Not even a little bit.
You gotta have that one cringe sex with like a voice if you did a voice.
Man, here's the thing. Like, I had an ex. I had an ex that was like, I'm never gonna take nudes for you. Like, I'm never gonna send you pictures of my whole butt, right?
All right.
And I was like, that's fine. Like, that's a personal choice, but why? And she was just like, that's how people's careers get ruined. Like, if I send it to you and then you save it and then somebody hacks you and then they blackmail me and then, like, all of a sudden if I'm a politician in 20 years, then somebody is going to show my boobs to the internet. And like, it's so risky and it's for no benefit. And I'm like, oh God, it's fine. I'm not worried I'm not pressed about you not sending me your tits. It's fine. I just like, she had thought about this so much that she was like, no, if I send you my boobs, I'm going to be homeless. That's the end result of this. And I know it's going to happen.
In 20 years, they're going to have me in Parliament and be like, excuse me, are these your boobs?
Are these your tits? Oh, shit.
Throw her in the dungeon. Just fucking...
No!
Fuck. I'm just saying, dude, people who do voices, like, man, you know they got to do the voices for, like, sex, especially, like, people with voices, like, characters that they sexualize a lot.
Yeah.
Like fucking Tara Strong has to do like Raven. Fucking,
oh God, no.
Whatever.
No, for sure not. Tara would never. Tara Strong would never.
Tara's in bed and she's like, fucking doing her turn. She's like, I wish she would fucking take me.
God, the thing is, like, the end of my thought. The reason why I brought up that ex-girlfriend is because that would be my first thought. Is like, I am going, like, if I'm the new voice of Donald Duck, and I use the Donald Duck voice to say in Donald Duck voice, please eat my whole ass, right? There's like a 0.001% chance you're currently recording this on your phone, or somebody has hacked it and is recording all your audio, and then they're going to hear me doing it, and then they're going to post it on YouTube and be like, look, the voice actor for Donald is like getting his ass eaten out. It's crazy. And then I'm going to get fired from my cushy gig as being Donald Duck. Like, that's my first thought, and I'm like, fucking never. I would never disrespect the character like that.
What if you did it like before, like you became that VA? Just like, say, like you're doing the voice for like shits and giggles,
mm-hmm.
and then like, I don't know, later down the line you get like hired as that voice actor, and they're just like, is this you? And it's like shit. You're doing a fucking goofy accent. You're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna railroad your ass. You're like, yeah, that's me.
Yeah. That's the other thing is like do you remember after Michael Phelps won like so many gold medals that he broke his neck, like a month or two after that Olympics, a big news story came out about like, look, Michael Phelps is smoking weed at a house party. And it's like, damn, like somebody really went to a house party with Michael Phelps and was like, oh, I'm gonna fucking sell this to TMZ. That's fucking crazy.
I really don't see the problem.
So like, then, like, he's I'm just saying, if you go out, if you're like at a con and you're drunk with your friends, your voice actor friends, and you're like, oh yeah, I play fucking, I don't know, Midoriya from My Hero Academia, and yeah, I'm at a bar, and now I'm just like, I'm talking about my friends, and I'm like, I'm gonna Detroit smash your whole butthole in, and then somebody records that and posts it, like, I would be like, oh fuck. Like, anime is one of those things where it's probably fine because anime fans are like, yeah, you're great. Please Detroit smash my asshole. But if you were like for like a Disney thing, if it like the voice actress for Elsa was just like, yeah, I don't know,
let it go,
yeah.
let it go,
let it go
just
inside
don't get it in my hair. Fucking.
Yeah, then she's fired immediately, right? Like, even if she's just making a joke. So, like, listen, the risk is high.
She did 2 Frozens in Kingdom Hearts. She doesn't need to be there anymore.
Yeah, I mean, but what if you just got in, dude? What if you just had one successful thing, the sequel's on its way, you're feeling yourself, you're having a good time at a con, and then you just, I don't know,
Young
You talk about how
Midoriya.
much you like sounding in your funny voice, and now it's like, oh look, the new Steven Universe voice actors fucking love sounding. Oh no, Steven loves sounding. I can't unhear it.
Listen, I'm just saying you can't tell me that these VAs aren't doing it. Like they're not doing their voices and saying like some fucking weird shit. I know for a fact. Well, I know some VAs do it for fun. I know the VA for Bart Simpson,
Oh yeah,
Nancy Cartwright, and it's really sad too. It's like really sad. She had a TikTok where she was like going to a random place and she's like, "Hey, you like The Simpsons?" And they're like, "Yeah, I know The Simpsons." She's like, "Hey man, how you doing? I'm Bart Simpson." I can't do Bart voice, but
no, that was perfect. 10 out of 10. No complaints.
Like, hey man, how the hell are you? I'm Bart Simpson. And they're like, "Oh, that's a good impression." She's like, "Oh, I do the voice." And you're like, "Oh, is that true?"
Oh yeah, Grandma. Do you live in the retirement community nearby, or?
It's so cringe. I know she doesn't know it's cringe, but it is cringe.
What if she does know it's cringe and that's why she's doing it?
I don't like that. If I was related to her, I'd be like, please stop. Just stop it.
Mom, please.
Everyone's making fun of you, Meemaw. Fuck.
Meemaw?
She's a grandma.
God. Okay, so back to Twitch retirement. And YouTube retirement. There's one other streamer and content creator who is doing sort of a soft retirement thing, and that's Germa. Germa was doing. Germa has been around for a very long time and has waxed and waned in popularity. Currently, he's pretty popular. And he did a stream and was like, "Yep, I'm probably going to be semi-retiring pretty soon." And the main reason why is I want to do other stuff, and I want streaming to just be a hobby, and I want to just feel like I can stream when I want to and not that I have to stream. So that's what I'm going to do. He's like, I'm going to focus on doing live events more and doing more cool stuff like that instead of like, getting on stream and playing a video game.
I just looked him up. I don't know who he is, so...
Germa's pretty big, and he only got bigger whenever Ludwig exploded because Ludwig was like, I love Germa. I'm going to put Germa in basically everything. And now a bunch of people are even more into Germa. He used to be like limited in fame to just TF2, basically. And then he sort of grew out of that a little bit and started doing other stuff and was still kind of like medium to high popularity. And then whenever him and Ludwig started collaborating more, he got very big.
Well, I've only heard of Ludwig like a few years ago, but I don't really watch him, but I know he's popular.
He is.
I know his balls came out not too long ago.
Hell yeah.
So
that's the spirit.
I don't know. I guess Germa retiring is like big for his fans, but like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I don't mean to fucking hella beans to me. Fuck that guy. I don't know him enough to feel bad.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is that when most of these YouTubers are talking about are talking about retirement, they're still creating content. They're just doing it whenever they want to.
They're just doing it different.
And I gotta say, it kind of sucks real bad that like that a YouTuber has to feel like, oh, I'm so beholden to my audience and my schedule. I have to make a whole 20-minute long crying video about why I'm gonna be producing less videos and why I want more time and how I've had a mental breakdown and like God, who was it? The Hacksmith. Do you know the Hacksmith?
I've heard of them, but I've never seen any of their videos. Yeah,
basically any video that's like, I turned myself into Iron Man. He's made that video like 80 times. And it's interesting. He's like a great builder and he's a cool engineer, but like he had a video about, I don't know, 6 months ago that was like, hey, it was from the channel that was like, hey, yeah, Zach, the titular Hacksmith, he's not going to be in videos for a little bit. He's having some problems, and they cut to some videos of him. He recorded a thing where he was like, yeah, I'm really burnt out. Whenever I first got into this, it was really fun to be building stuff. And I'm like, I'm having a good time, but now it's such a grind, and I'm having to focus too much, and my mental health really needs to recover. He just looked like shit. He looked like absolute dog shit this video.
Yeah. To be fair, like I get them having to make a video about them like soft retiring or like doing something else, because like it would be too weird for them to just stop uploading, or like it would have been weird for MatPat to just switch right to a new host without any explanation besides when the new host comes up, they're like, oh, by the way, MatPat's not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
People are gonna be like, well, what the fuck did he do? Like,
yeah, I mean, for MatPat, it makes sense. For Game Grumps, they couldn't have just switched to Dan and then that be it. Like it went, the transition over to Dan went such like shit. The only way it could have been worse is if they didn't put out any video. But like,
well, like they didn't they do like the skit?
Yeah,
like,
they had a skit.
Leaving.
Yep.
Of JonTron leaving and then Dan coming in.
Yep.
God, that's so long ago thinking about it. But like I at the time I was just like, oh, okay. I was like, I guess maybe JonTron wants to do more of his own videos, because like that was a thing at the time. They're like, well, you're doing Game Grumps now. You're not doing like your own content.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, that's, I see that. But little did I know it was like a whole slew of other things.
Yeah.
Like it was just JonTron and Aaron like falling out.
Yeah, I watched so many theory videos about this. At the time, a lot of it was like, oh, JonTron's girlfriend hates Aaron's girlfriend, and Aaron's girlfriend hates JonTron, so that's why they broke up. And I watched a more recent video, and the evidence that they laid out seems more believable to me, that Game Grumps was taking off in popularity, and they got invited to do a bunch of professional stuff at E3 and be on a bunch of streams. And JonTron like was hungover or got drunk or just didn't show up to a couple of them. And Aaron was like, okay, this Game Grumps thing is making a shit ton of money, and it's so much less effort than doing animation, and like, this is a thing that like I want to continue growing in the future, and I can't do that if I have somebody that isn't serious about doing that. And so I'm sure that like, he's like, John, you gotta fucking pay it. You have to go to these things. Like, we are a business now. We pay people. People depend on us for rent, idiot. And John wanted to have fun and do things his way, and it seemed like it's probably mutual. Probably more Aaron being like, please let me just make this into a business and you can go fuck yourself. And he's like, fine, good.
It's so funny because like you wouldn't think that Aaron is like very business and like worker oriented, where John is not. I mean, John has his own team for his channel, but he uploads so little, but his videos get like so many views no matter what.
Yeah.
Like it pays for itself, whereas, Game Grumps back then it was new hot shit and it was like raking it a lot. I don't think John was like, I think John was like, I don't see myself doing this for like a long time.
Yeah.
And he was still like really young, and I know he was like a heavy drinker. I don't know if he is still anymore, but like I don't hear enough about JonTron to know like anything. So I his videos will pop up every once in a while, and I'll be like, God, John, you're way behind on this video trend that you're doing like right now.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you just I don't want him to retire because like I watch his videos, except like now they're so like corporate almost. It's just like they're not as fun.
Yeah. I
know you don't watch him because he's
racist. So that's I have no idea what his content is like now, but like, who was it? It was Ludwig, actually. I watched like Ludwig was like, oh, a bunch of YouTubers are retiring. And he had a video that was like where he was like talking about like people doing the soft retirement thing, and he brought up MatPat saying that like, you either basically like dwindle into irrelevance, or you leave out on a high.
On a high.
And I think that's the thing with a with like a bunch of people is like, actually, who one of the YouTubers who I think made it through that and is actually still doing fine, is a YouTuber, a Minecraft YouTuber named Tango Tech. There's basically a single, SMP server, that a lot of people follow called Hermitcraft, and he's one of the content creators on there. He's like a redstone guy, so he was putting out, oh yeah, I made this redstone contraption, and then here's my Hermitcraft episode. And he just he put out a video at some point where he was like, guys, I've got to be honest with you, I'm gonna scale back on my Hermitcraft episodes. I'm gonna scale back on all of my episodes and stuff that I'm doing, because I'm not making enough money to support my family. Like, my views are going down. I keep trying, I keep trying to make sure that like my content is good, but it's clear that something has changed and I have to change with it. And so he did like a complete overhaul where he was like, I'm going to do a new series where like I write a mod from scratch. And he like did that for a while, and he did a whole bunch of like other stuff to like get people interested in his channel again and get more viewers coming in. And now he's like one of the biggest streamers on Hermitcraft again. And he's back to just doing Hermitcraft and doing streams. And that's all that he does. And like, that's an example of somebody that like saw something was wrong and changed it. But there's a ton of YouTubers out there where you're like, oh yeah, I used to watch that. Oh, I wonder what they're doing. Wow, 1,000 views, 2,000 views. Damn, son.
There's a YouTuber I think should quit, and I'll tell you in 30 seconds. I gotta go put a lasagna in the oven.
Oh my god!
I'll be right back.
Fucking, this is the entire episode. Like, can we just call this Go Getta? This is the Go Getta podcast. It's me. I'm the Go Getta. Yeah, there's a couple of YouTubers that I used to follow where like you go to their videos and it's the same thing, or it's clear that they're trying to do something different and it just isn't working. Or I think even worse than that actually is whenever a YouTuber puts out a video that's like, hey, I took a big break. I had to do like this big extended thing because I wasn't feeling well. And, I just was burnt out, and I'm back. I'm going to make videos. Everything's going to be great. And then they make 2 videos and then they're gone for another year. And then they have to put out another video that's like, hey, yeah, things were bad for a while, but don't worry. I'm excited about putting out videos again. And it lasts for another 2 weeks. And you're like, dude, just stop. Just stop.
That's just JonTron.
The thing is, JonTron doesn't have the sense to put out a video in the middle where he's like, hey, yeah, I was just busy and I was playing whatever and I got sick and I kept coming up with ideas and I just couldn't do anything. Like, people that end up putting out those, it's like, what are you fucking doing, dude?
Yeah, there's 2 YouTubers. I don't think he should stop because he's a Twitch streamer now. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have as big audience, but Space Hamster, I used to watch his videos a lot. Then he just stopped. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what the fuck? He didn't say anything. He didn't do anything. And now he just streams on Twitch. I saw him the other day. I was like, oh, this is where you are.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I'm not going to watch you. I like your YouTube content more than watching you, I don't know, play Fortnite.
Yeah. Yeah.
But good for him. He's still got an audience. I don't know how big it is, but good for him. Yeah. And then the person I think should stop is the completionist.
Yeah. God.
So he put out 2 videos in like this past week.
Really? And he did. You're right. Yeah.
And the first video is like Super Mario RPG, and he's talking and this is so funny. So he's talking. He's like, Super Mario RPG remake is a game that blah 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 blah, and then the happy music is playing, and then it stops, and he's like, now in light of current things that happen, it's gonna take a long time to regain your trust, but I'm gonna take as long as it needs to gain your trust back, and we're gonna move on. And then the music pops on. He's like, Super Mario RPG. He's like, I'm like, you son of a bitch. I'm like, you're just not gonna talk about it, are you? And he puts out the video. Oh my god, he sounds like. I saw the whole video.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to watch him a lot, even before the controversy. And then like I stopped for like a long time because he was like he stopped doing spoilers and he started doing like more skits, and I just fell out of his humor.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched him recently when that video came out, and man, he sounds just devoid of like any like he sounds like he's just reading off a script. He has like I'm not gonna say like no emotion, and it just sounds like nothing. They even scaled back editing. Like you can tell like he has like no one he's like hosting with. It's just him. And then he put out another video, and it just sounds so forced. And I left a comment, and I was just like, what did I say? I saw the whole video, and man, you sound absolutely energyless. Like you don't want to be here. And honestly, yeah, you probably shouldn't. You need to go away for a while, take a year off, then come back next year after reflecting on why people are still mad at you, and you have everything at home figured out, or else your reviews from here on out will sound disingenuous.
Dude, I gotta be honest with you. The completionist, he is. I think we've talked about this before. The attention span of people is so short that if that's the last time that he ever mentions the Open Hand Foundation and Indie Land, if that's the last time that he mentions it and that something happened, that's like no one's gonna care in 6 months. Like his views will probably be right where they were. You'll probably get a comment or two. Like, I don't know if you remember, but there was a big like dust up in the online nerd community whenever like Holly Conrad and Pro Jared were like dating, and like Ross broke up with her, and like, you know, like that whole and Pro Jared's wife was being a shitter. Like that whole thing was so earth-shattering and awful. And there's still people that I'm sure reach out to them and are like, oh, fucking, yeah, way to steal someone's wife, like fucking bent dick Jared.
Dude, I watch Pro Jared. He doesn't do like Pro Jared anymore. He does now in the 90s.
Dude, that's the thing. He stopped making videos for, I don't know, like a couple months. Yeah. And then he just came back and was like, that's that. I guess it's over. I'm going to keep going. And then he did.
Not even that. He put out that hour-long video of like, what's it called? Like dissecting everything. He was like, yeah, with these people, they didn't show you all the evidence. Here's everything. And this is what they said. They cut up my things. And also, this one person that came out, I have no idea who they are because they've never messaged me. And he's like, yeah, I showed my wiener, and I had a not safe for work Tumblr for adults only. He's like, I'm an adult, so sue me.
Yeah, I'm an adult. Go fuck yourself.
and that's fair. He is an adult, and he's like, if you're gonna be here and you want to consent in sharing like nudes in this like weird thing that I'm doing, I'm a weirdo. You're consenting. And you're consenting that you're an adult, and if we find out you're not an adult, you're gonna get banned.
Listen, you're gonna see my cool balls, and if you're not down with that, then you should leave.
So, like, it's weird, but I mean, he's an adult, and they're all adults.
Yeah, he could have. I promise you, he could have busted in to Ross and Holly's house and dragged his balls across Ross's face and been like, yeah, bitch, and recorded, live streamed it onto YouTube and left the video up and be like, I fucking hate my wife. And 6 months later, if he would have started uploading, there would have been a bunch of people that are like, oh, this fucking guy, we thought we canceled him. What a shitter. And then a month or two later, no one would care anymore because something else would happen. The world would explode in a different way and no one would care anymore. And he would just go on with the people that like him and no one would care. I guarantee you that's what the completionist is going to do. In fact, I'm going to hang on just right now. I'm going to do this. Oh boy, I can't wait. I'm going to open up my Google Calendar because that's what I do when I need to remember something. And I'm going to go into, let's do June 26th, okay? And I'm going to go, how is the completionist doing now? Does anyone give a shit? Question mark. Boom. Save.
I give a shit.
Yeah, you may not. Like, if I swear, if I bring this up on if I don't even tell you that I'm going to do it beforehand, and I'm like, hey, I got a calendar reminder. What's going on with the completionist? You probably be like, oh shit, I haven't even thought about, damn, everything has been so crazy since like Donald Trump got his own personal militia and started murdering people. Yeah, it was crazy when that happened. Remember when we said the completionist was never going to get away from this? He's fine now.
Here's the thing. He won't get away from this. And the way I'm saying is people are going to remember. And here's what I think. He's going to continue making videos, but just like he is now, by himself, with maybe like 2 editors. Mm-hmm. And it's just going to be him. No one's going to want to work with him because everyone knows that like he's an ingenuine piece of shit.
Yeah.
A disingenuous asshole.
Yep.
Like, and even no matter how much he says, like that, oh, it was just my family. Like, he's got his family that's like also like fighting him because like, it was his brother and his dad and like his sisters and stuff were on like the board for the open hand. And he's just like trying to distance it. He was like, oh, it's all them, not me.
Yeah.
And so like now he's got his family that kind of hates him or I'm speculating.
Yeah.
And he has like fans that are like, well, we can't fucking trust you anymore. And then him who he's like, I still want to do Indie Land, but with no charity. So he's going to be doing videos, and then the minute this year is a new year, he's going to be like, I'm bringing back Indie Land, but it's not for charity. It's just to bring out fucking spotlight indie games. Dude, no, dude. He's going to fucking implode on himself if he even tries. Hell, it's not even just the 2 videos that he did. He did a Twitch live stream of him just sitting in a room talking for like, I don't know, an hour or so. And he just looked beaten and sad, and he was just there with sad face, like cradling his dog, and he was just talking to people while people were just still throwing money at him, subbing him and shit.
Yeah. Don't listen to the haters.
He didn't say anything. He was just like talking. I don't even know what he was saying because he deleted the video immediately, like almost after he fucking finished.
Yeah. I bet it's because he realized it's a fucking bad idea. Like, fuck it. James Somerton came up with a video where he was like, nah, this is going to be my apology video. I went to the hospital because I tried to do something stupid. He apparently attempted suicide. That's what his story is. He attempted suicide and he came back and he was like, I'm fine now, but I'm going to do whatever I need to earn your trust back. And then
I'm going to re-upload the videos, and I'm going to, all the monetization's going to go to those people who I stole from, but I'm going to keep a little because I got to stay in my apartment.
Just because I need to live.
Yeah, that's literally what he said. And I'm just like, everyone's like, don't do it. Everyone's like, don't do it.
Don't stop.
Just don't. And he didn't. He was like, he just, I guess afterwards he was like, man, that was a shit idea. I shouldn't have done that. I should have just stayed offline and not come back ever.
Yeah, I think a bunch of people commented on his video and was like, James, get off the internet. If this is what you have to offer, we don't want it. Leave. Please leave. And
he was like, nothing to offer.
He was like, oh, I guess that didn't go over very well. Okay, I'll just it's fine. I'll come back later. Don't worry about
it. I bet in his head he was just like, I'm sure there are some people who are still like waiting for me to come back, and I'm gonna let them know, dude, no. The whole internet, once they saw the H-Bomber guy video, was like, man, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
I didn't even know who that guy was, and I was like, fuck that guy. Every time I see like some big drama, I look up the person who's like the bad person in the drama, and I'm like, man, fuck that guy. And I like look at them, and oh, dude, James Somerton especially, he looks like a piece of shit. He has a piece of shit looking face.
He does. He has one of those faces of a guy where like if I ate lunch with him and then somebody afterward was like, hey, we recorded him talking to someone else right after your lunch for the next hour. Do you want to listen to it? My first question would be like, how much shit did he talk about me? And I guarantee you they would be like, oh, he talked shit about you for like 10 minutes. I'd be like, yeah, I fucking bet he did.
Dude, that's the thing. He probably wouldn't because he loves men. Well, he is gay, but second of all, he hates women. He's what is it called, a misandrist or
Misogynist.
yeah, he hates women. Even gay women. Hates gay women. Hates all women. He's all about them men. And he's a fucking trans exclusionary radical feminist turf.
Ugh.
So like he can't come back. He's just banished to the shadow realm. He's a bad person.
Yeah.
There's no capacity. Even he can't be like, I'm gonna take 6 months and come back because everyone remembers everything he did and they can't forgive him. I couldn't forgive him and I don't even watch him.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck that guy.
Like dude, I am so engrossed in internet drama. Like I love that's like my favorite thing to consume. Even last night, I was like laying down. I was like, okay, it was like 2 o'clock. Maybe it was like 1:30. I'm like, I'm gonna lay down, maybe put on a video and fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And I put on I watched this guy called Tipster on YouTube and he does live streams and he had a live stream and it was like Ethan Klein drama and I was like,
oh yeah.
I was like, what's going on with Ethan? And I put it on and I laid down and it was about this guy named Jake Doolittle and I was like, oh fuck, Jake Doolittle. And and he's not a big YouTuber, but I remember like a year or so ago, I subbed to him for a little while because I liked watching commentary videos. And I was watching him, but I unsubbed quick because like he is so bad. Like he's like the completionist where completionist brings up his dead mom whenever he fucking has a chance. This guy Jake Doolittle, every video like he's doing commentary and he's just like, if y'all don't remember, I used to have Lyme disease. I was in the hospital from a very young age till like I was a fucking teen or whatever. And I spent every video he brought up the fact that he was in the hospital with Lyme disease, and fucking that's all he talked about. And he was just like, oh man, I have my beautiful girlfriend. He's like, but I am a bisexual. He brought up his sexuality and the fact that he was in a hospital every fucking video.
God.
and then this one video he showed was where he was talking about like, I don't know if you remember this, but like weebs dating. It was like a fucking old like MTV style show where it was just like nerds dating, and it was this one weeb guy who was going to a con and did like a speed dating thing, and Jake Doolittle went fucking hard on this guy, but like not like in a funny way, but like fuck, he was like being a real shithead to him for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
And like he was like, oh, I bet this guy doesn't shower and he lives in a fucking basement and shit. And
damn,
dude, he was like going hard. I was like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was like, he wasn't even that cringy. I was like, what? I was like, man, I'm like, fuck you. I don't need this hatred in my life.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, and so the reason I bring this up because he made an hour-long video trying to call out Ethan from H3H3 that he is lying and about lupus and fucking is making fun of people about him having lupus. And let's get it straight. Ethan doesn't have lupus, or at least he doesn't know if he does.
Yeah.
But for like his past couple of podcasts, I guess he's been talking about how he's been going to the doctor and he's been getting like his blood checks and he's Ethan. If you know anything about Ethan, he likes joking around. Like he's like, I'm gonna ask ChatGPT what it thinks about like if I have lupus, I'm gonna give it my symptoms, and he's joking around about it. But he's like bringing awareness to lupus and talking about how hard it is to get a diagnosis, while also like giving people money for like if they had like operations or like terminal terminal diseases like stuff. But he was just like talking about it. He didn't definitively say that he had lupus. but
Mhm.
he was just like, it might be my hypochondriac side that I have lupus, but he's like, also my mom had like some kind of like terminal like disease and stuff, so maybe it runs in the family, so maybe it might be that.
Mhm.
This motherfucker Jake goes 40 minutes just like shitting all over Ethan about him like, oh, what is it, Ethan? You don't have lupus, you can't even pronounce this disease, and then while also sprinkling in, I have Lyme disease, so I know all this stuff, and you don't know anything. And fucking I sat there for like 2 hours watching that of Ethan going like, you son of a bitch. I never said I had it. I was talking about like my diagnosis and what the doctors were telling me, and just picking him apart and just fucking like destroying the guy. And Jake Doolittle deleted his video as the podcast was going on, and then Ethan was like, he left it up for a month. He know what he did, and he's like, I never say this to anybody, but I hope that guy fucking quits YouTube, fucking sells all of his equipment. I was like, God damn.
Man, dude. Yeah. I mean, yeah. If you think that you have like, so personally, it's taken me a long time to get to the point where like self-diagnosis is like a thing that I have a more nuanced opinion on. But dude, like, if you like, especially if it's hard to get a diagnosis, if it's expensive to keep going to doctors, if like you don't have like the money or like whatever, I think like claiming that you have a disease and making that part of your like personality when you don't know if you have it or not is kind of a weird thing to do, but like, I don't know.
Well, if you bring it up all the time,
Yes.
If you're out with like people or whatever, and you're like, oh, there's my fucking rheumatoid arthritis acting up again.
Yeah, hold on, I gotta eat my greens to make my lupus better, and it's like, I don't think that's how lupus works.
Yeah.
Because like I had a friend that has lupus, and she like for months at a time she's fine. Like she like her symptoms are like kind of okay, and then for months at a time she's just knocked on her ass. She can't do anything.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I have another friend that has lupus. He is affected by it not that often. Like his lupus is managed, and like sometimes he experiences some symptoms, especially in like high pressure social situations and stuff like that. But like lupus is such a varied disease that covers a bunch of different stuff. It's like saying I have cancer, because it's like, which one? Yeah. They're all different.
The cancer.
Yeah, I've got the big one. I've got the big cancer.
Fucking yeah, it's such a nuanced thing, but like I think just saying like you have, if without a diagnosis, I think cancer is the one where you can't get away with saying, oh, I have cancer. But like
sure.
if you like you could get away with being like, I have like ADHD, or I have what's it called, OCD or whatever. Like you can get away with that because like it's not like a major thing where like it affects you, especially if you're like, oh, I'm OCD, I gotta have my shelf in a certain way or whatever, or I'm ADHD, I can't pay attention. Like you can get away with saying that because like you don't exude like those certain symptoms, or maybe you don't see people enough. Just don't bring it up all the goddamn time. Yeah. And I say that because as we do it all the time, I am undiagnosed, and I think I have it. Yeah. In fact, I feel like I know I have it. I'm just, it's not a big part of my life. I talk to you about it, and you're just like, yeah, that's very ADHD of you.
Yeah.
And you have it.
Yeah.
So I think you know like what you're talking about.
The thing is, like, for like OCD as a thing is one of those, like, because it's a very flippant, like, oh, and I've got OCD and like everything in my house needs to be tidy, and like that's not what it is, and it sort of like diminishes how serious OCD is. But whenever you're talking about like I don't know, I've got like these ADHD tendencies, or like I'm experiencing depression, I think I have anxiety. Like if you're not bringing it up in like a flippant or weird way, I think it's usually okay. And especially if you're not making it part of your like of who you are as a human and being like, I am defined by this label, that always really like squicks me out. It gives me a lot of alarm bells about someone whenever it's just like the person that you brought up was like, yeah, I'm such a gamer. It's the same thing where somebody's like, yeah, well, I'm such an autist. I've got such autism. Like, here's all the autism things that I have. And it's like, fucking, I know you have other interests. Like, why do you just need to keep talking about autism, dude?
That's the TikTok crowd. Like, especially with like Tourette's. Tourette's was like a big fucking TikTok thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if you remember this one. Maybe you don't, but like this was also like drama like 3 years ago. From like a TikToker who was like proven to not have Tourette's.
Mm-hmm.
Her name was Ticks and Roses.
Ooh.
You not know her?
No. I may have heard about this, but yeah, I don't.
Man. I was like in deep with that drama. Like every week, like something new was going on, and she had. Oh my god, I get it. Tourette's is like, it's hard to look at people and them like having tics and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and being like they got Tourette's or they're faking it or whatever. Ethan, going back to Ethan, he has Tourette's.
Mm-hmm.
But like all the time, like every Tourette's is not just like fuck bitch, fucking.
Yeah.
They're not like. That's not the whole, like, all the Tourette's. But, Ticks and Roses, she was like, these are my top 10 ticks, and she would, like, tick on command.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, oh, man, I'm cringing right now because I can't, like, do it.
Yeah.
But, like, she's just, like, trying to cook while having Tourette's. And she's, like, cooking, she's like, beans going here. And I'm like, I'm like, don't do that. I'm like, you're faking it. And people were calling her out on it, and she's like, she's like, look, this is my diagnosis from the doctor, and she shows like this document, and they're like, yeah, that place doesn't exist, or like it's written wrong, and she's like, they wouldn't write it in this way, and people with like Tourette's were coming out, they're like, hey, yeah, that's not how it works, and the thing is that this person was just like, yeah, my tics are like real bad, and they happen all the time. The thing that she was just like, I have Tourette's, and all y'all saying I'm a liar are like fucking bullshit. But she had another TikTok where she sold, or another company where she sold yarn with someone, and they would do like hour-long like videos of like them talking about their company and yarn and stuff she put out. And not once in that whole time would she ever like tick. And they were like, oh, well, I don't tick all the time. You know, and that's true. People with like Tourette's and tics don't tick all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But the way she was on her personal TikTok, and she was like how frequent it happens to her, you would think that like every part of the day she was just ticking. And the fact that she can go for like an hour or two without doing it is just like a red flag.
Yeah.
So people were, man, I really want you to like see, there's like an hour-long documentary on
I'm sure there is.
I just want you to see it because like you'll see it and you're like, man, she is a piece of shit.
Man, fuck her.
And I really hate those people that make their one, or they find like one thing and they make that all them. And it can go for anybody. Like straight people do it, trad couples do it, trad marriage. Wives do it, trad wives. Gay people do it. Fucking anyone can do it, and it doesn't matter what it is. I hate it.
Yeah, anytime, especially like whenever the punchline of the joke is "LOL, I'm gay," I'm like, that's just so lazy. Like that's not like, a joke, dude.
They're like, that's so gay of me, right? Because I'm so gay.
Yeah. Because I love men.
Yeah, like, man, I just don't like that. I don't like that, and those people annoy me. And I know if like people just looked at the podcast and they saw us talking, they're like, well, wait a minute, Fee, don't you do that? I'm like, I do that for the show.
Yeah.
Like, when I get off, I'm like, man, Colby, it was fucking real sexual in there.
Yeah,
right? We
damn.
Had a fucking heated penis topic.
Hot under the collar. Ooh.
Like, I don't fucking go. I don't go to the store, and they're like, oh, will this be all? I'm like, will this be all? Gay man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, you forgot to mention how gay I am. Did you see my shirt? It has a picture of a rainbow ass on it. That lets you know I'm gay. Like I don't go around and tell people like I'm bi. Like I at work some people know I am. But like if it ever came out and they're like, "Oh, he's bi," and they're like, "Why did you tell us?" I'm like, "Why did I have to?"
Yeah.
Like,
why would you?
I'm like,
why does it matter? Why do you need to know?
Yeah, why do you need to know? Like, you're not gonna fucking wake up and suck a dick and be like, "Oh, this is Felix is doing."
Yeah, you're fucking contagious.
Oh shit!
I'm gonna catch the appreciation for dick. No.
I'm like, that's on you, buddy. Like, if you're sucking wieners, you like doing that before you met me.
Yeah. Hey.
Hey. Anyway, we're like at the end of our show, but I just wanted to say, Delicious Dungeon's a good show.
It is a good show, and maybe we'll talk more about it on the next episode. So you can look forward to that. And the Nintendo Switch 2 may be on its way soon, so maybe we'll talk about
Electric
that.
Boogaloo.
Who knows?
Isn't there supposed to be a Nintendo Direct this month?
I don't know. There usually is. I think I put in this prediction last year. I think it's going to be end of January, beginning of February. That's whenever the new console is going to be released. So I think we're going to get a direct either in like between 3 and 4 weeks from now.
Are you going to get if it does get announced, are you going to get a Switch 2 immediately, or are you going to wait until something good comes out?
Oh no, I'm going to get it immediately because I have faith that they're going to release something that I want.
I don't know. They might just release it with like another Mario game.
Race of Metro Prime 4, I'm all in. Release it with any 3D Mario game, I'm in.
Really? Have you played Super Mario Odyssey?
Yep. Played it and beat it.
I haven't.
It's great.
I have a Switch.
It's very fun.
Speaking of, I'm getting a PS5, baby.
Yeah, you are. Woo!
So excited about it.
Be playing Rebirth. Woo!
That's literally all I got it for, was Rebirth in 16.
Hell yeah. Then you can sell it for drug money.
Yeah, all my fucking cocaine.
Yeah.
And my shrooms.
That's right. Those are the two, I guess.
Only those, you know. I need cocaine so no one can catch me while I'm on shrooms.
That's right. Let me tell you what you can go do, everyone. If you're listening to this podcast live, welcome. You're on our Twitch page, twitch.tv/GoGetUsPodcast. You can, if you're not listening to this live, you can follow us there, and you'll get push notification that tells you whenever we go live. We go live anywhere between 0 and 2 times a week to record the podcast, so you can hear it early. But if you want to listen to the podcast and get the visual aspect, then you can go check it out on our YouTube channel. It comes out the same day that the podcast does, which is every Wednesday. On our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@GoGetUsPodcast. All of our episodes are uploaded there, and they are uploaded at 2 p.m. Central. So you can have fun with that. But if you want just the audio version, you can just listen to it on any podcatcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever you want. We are on all of those. And you can also check out our shorts. Our shorts are fucking fire. I'm gonna fucking kill you, Fee. So you should go check those things out. Fee, go tell them what they can go do.
Here's what I want you to do. I want you to get in your time machine. Go back in. Can hate you. Go back in time. Create to where YouTube was just made. What year was that, Colby? 2000 what, 4?
That sounds plausible.
Go back to 2004. Start a YouTube channel. Build up an audience. I want you to go many years just doing what you love. Get into a few controversies, you scamp.
Just a couple.
And you build up an audience, and then when 2024 comes out, I want you to announce your retirement. And get your money, throw it into the fucking moon, then go get it.
The moon? Just the moon?
You have a time machine. Why wouldn't you have a rocket?
Why would you put it there in the first place, though?
To make it harder to go get.
But why would you want that? Why would you want that?
Moon's fun.
Hey!
Listen, I didn't know where to say to go to do after. I just wanted that analogy. I didn't know what to say after. What would you have said, you big idiot?
Yeah, get all your money and then donate it to charity. Be like a good YouTuber and not like the completionist. Hey, that's what I would have said, which would have been better. So go fuck yourself.
Yeah, but you didn't. I said it.
Yeah, and you did it real bad.
Hey.
Bye.
Bye. I don't know why I'm doing this.